Good afternoon, friends. Today I am going to read to you the final book of our Earth unit. This book is titled City Green by DyAnne DiSalvo Ryan. It's a realistic fiction book. What that means is it's a made-up story, but real things could have and have happened that are very similar to this story. There are real communities that have worked to create community gardens. You probably have seen them even in your own community in Boston. We have many community gardens in Boston. As we're reading today, we can think about how does this girl help her community with gardening? And how does she persuade others to join her? City Green by DyAnne DiSalvo Ryan. There used to be a building right here on this lot. It was 3 floors up and down. An empty building nailed up shut for as long as I could remember. My friend, Miss Rosa, told me an old man Hammer used to live there. Some other neighbors, too. But when I asked him about that, he only hollered, "Scram!" Old Man Hammer, hard as nails. What do you think that means if she's describing Old Man Hammer as hard as nails? Do you think that means he's very friendly? No, not very friendly. And he's hard, he's difficult to talk to. Last year, 2 people from the city came by, dressed in suits and holding papers. They said, "This building is unsafe. It will have to be torn down." By winter, a crane with a wrecking ball was parked outside. Mama gathered everyone to watch from our front window. In 3 slow blows, that building was knocked into a heap of pieces. The workers took the rubble away in a truck and filled the hole with dirt. The rubble is like the leftover garbage pieces of the building. Here they can see it. Now, this block looks like a big smile with 1 tooth missing. Can you see that? Can you imagine that? If you smile and you're missing a tooth, there's a big gap, a big hole. Just like in this neighborhood now, there's a big gap where that building used to be. Old Man Hammer sits on top of his stoop and shakes his head. "Look at that piece of junk land on a city block," Old Man Hammer says. "Once that building could have been saved, but nobody even tried. And every day when I pass this lot, it makes me sad to see it. Every single day." Then one spring, and right on schedule, Miss Rosa starts cleaning her coffee cans. Miss Rosa and I keep coffee cans outside our windowsills. Every year we buy 2 packets of seeds at the hardware store, sometimes marigolds, sometimes zinnias, and one time we tried tomatoes. We go to the park, scoop some dirt, and fill up the cans halfway. This time, Old Man Hammer stops us on the way to the park. "This good-for-nothing lot has plenty of dirt right here," he says. Then, all at once, I look at Miss Rosa, and she is smiling back at me. "A lot of dirt," Miss Rosa says. "Like 1 big coffee can," I say. Can you predict what are they thinking of doing? That's when we decide to do something about this lot. Quick as a wink, I'm digging away, already thinking of gardens and flowers. But Old Man Hammer shakes his finger. "You can't dig more dirt than that. This lot is city property." That means it doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the city. Miss Rosa and I go to see Mr. Bennett. He used to work for the city. "I seem to remember a program," he says, "that lets people rent empty lots." That's how Miss Rosa and I form a group of people from our block. We pass along a petition that says, "We want to save this lot." In less than a week, we have plenty of names. So they're persuading their community, let's save this lot and use it for a garden. instead of letting the city take it. Sign with us? I ask Old Man Hammer. I'm not signing nothing, he says. And nothing is what's going to happen. But something did. The next week, a bunch of us take a bus to City Hall. We walk up the steps to the proper office and hand the woman our list. She checks her files and types some notes and makes some copies. That will be $1, please. And we rent the lot from the city just that day. It was as simple as that. Wow, so it worked. They were able to persuade the city. Saturday morning, I'm up with the sun and looking at this lot. My mama looks out too. Marcy, she says, and hugs me close. Today I'm helping you and Rosa. After shopping, Mama empties her grocery bags and folds them flat to carry under her arm. Come on, Mrs. B, Mama tells her friend. We're going to clear this lot. Then, what do you know? But my brother comes along. My brother is tall and strong. At first he scratches his neck and shakes his head just like Old Man Hammer. But Mama smiles and says, none of that here. So all day long he piles junk in those bags and carries them to the curb. And look, they're labeled recycle. So they're not just throwing all this junk in the garbage, they're recycling it. Now this time the day is early. Neighbors pass by and see what we're doing. Most say, we want to help too. They have a little time to spare. Then this one calls that one, and that one calls this one, and another, and another. Come on and help, I call Old Man Hammer. I'm not helping nobody, he hollers. You are wasting your time. Sour grapes, my mama'd say, and sour grapes is right. Wait a second. Why is her mama calling Old Man Hammer sour grapes? He's not grapes. What do you think that means? Maybe it means that he has a bad attitude, right? Like when we taste sour grapes, we don't like it. And maybe Old Man Hammer is kind of giving us that feeling when he keeps yelling like that. Just before summer, when we are good and hungry, my mama looks around this lot. Marcy, she says, you're making something happen here. Next day, the city drops off tools like rakes and brooms and a dumpster for trash. Now there's even more neighbors to help. Miss Rosa, my brother, and I say good morning to Old Man Hammer, but Old Man Hammer just waves like he's swatting a fly. Why is Old Man Hammer so mean and cranky these days? My brother asks. Maybe he's really sad, I tell him. Maybe he misses his building. That rotten old building? My brother shrugs. He should be happy the city tore that mess down. Give him some time, Miss Rosa says. Good things take time. Mr. Bennett brings wood, old slats he saved, and nails in a cup. I knew all along I saved them for something, he said. This wood's good wood. Then Mr. Rocco from 2 houses down comes, carrying 2 cans of paint. I'll never use these, he says. The color's too bright, but here, this lot could use some brightening up. Well, anyone can tell with all that excitement that something big is going on, and everyone has an idea about what to plant. Strawberries, carrots, lettuce, and more. Tulips and daisies, petunias, and more. Sunny turns the dirt over with a snow shovel. Even Leslie's baby tries to dig with a spoon. For lunch, Miss Rosa brings milk and jelly bread and spreads a beach towel where the junk is cleared. By the end of the day, a fence is built and painted as bright as the sun. Later, Mama kisses my cheek and closes my bedroom door. By the streetlight, I see Old Man Hammer come down his steps to open the gate and walk to the back of this lot. He bends down quick, sprinkling something from his pocket and covering it with dirt. In the morning, I tell my brother, "Oh, Marcy," he says, "you're dreaming. You're wishing too hard." But I know what I saw, and I tell my mama, "Old Man Hammer planted some seeds." Right after breakfast, I walk to the back of this lot, and there it is, a tiny raised bed of soil. It is neat and tidy, just like the rows we've planted. Now, I know for sure that Old Man Hammer planted something, so I pat the soil for good luck and make a little fence to keep his seeds safe. Can you see her through the window? Every day I go for a look inside our garden lot. Our neighbors stop in too. One day Mrs. Wells comes by. "This is right where my grandmother's bedroom used to be," she says. "That's why I planted flowers there." I feel sad when I hear that. With all the digging and planting and weeding and watering, I forgot about the building that had been on this lot. Old Man Hammer had lived there too. I go back where he planted his seeds. I wonder if this was the place where his room used to be. She's showing empathy. She's trying to consider and think about what Old Man Hammer might be feeling and thinking. I look down. Besides my feet, some tiny stems are sprouting. Old Man Hammer's seeds have grown. I run to his stoop. "Come with me," I beg, tugging at his hand. "You'll want to see." I walk him past the hollyhocks, the daisies, the peppers, the rows of lettuce. I show him the strawberries that I planted. When Old Man Hammer sees his little garden bed, his sour grapes turn sweet. "Marcy, child," he shakes his head, "this lot was good for nothing. Now it is nothing but good," he says. Soon summertime comes, and this lot really grows. It fills with vegetables, herbs, and flowers, and way in the back, taller than anything else, is a beautiful patch of yellow sunflowers. Old Man Hammer comes every day. He sits in the sun, eats his lunch, and sometimes comes back with supper. Nobody knows how the sunflowers came. Not Leslie, my brother, or Miss Rosa. Not Mr. Bennett or Sonny or anyone else. But Old Man Hammer just sits there smiling at me. We know whose flowers they are. The end. And in the back matter of the book, the author gave us a procedure. They said starting a community garden. It says all across America, people have joined together to turn ugly lots into beautiful gardens. You may not imagine that you can do it, but you can. If there is already a community garden in your neighborhood, ask your neighbors how they got started. But if you are the first on your block to make something happen, this is what you can do. Step 1. Find an interested grown-up who wants to help you. A parent, a guardian, a teacher, a librarian, or a neighbor. Step 2. Find out the address of the lot. This is very important. You may have to talk to neighbors or look at the address of the buildings next door. Example, the lot I'm interested in is on Main Street. It's between 75 Main Street and 81 Main Street. Step 3. While you're finding out the address of the lot, get in touch with the local gardening program in your area. Say that you're interested in starting a garden. Since every city is different, your local program will be able to help you. Step 4. Find who the owner is. The Department of Records at your local city hall can help. Look for the address of the city hall. Step 5. If there is a lot owned by the city, the people at the city hall can help you get permission to use it. Usually there's a small fee. That means you have to pay just a little bit of money. If the lot is owned by an individual person or group, you'll need to get their permission. Step 6. Once you have permission, use the lot. It's yours to name. There are hundreds of gardening programs that are ready to help community gardeners with information, soil, seeds, fencing, and more. And this says to find out the community gardening program that is nearest to you, it talks about a community garden association in Philadelphia. I'm wondering if that's the setting of this book. It is a city and it does look like Philadelphia. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this book. At home, you can talk about how did this girl help her community through gardening and how did she persuade others to join her. Bye, friends.